No, it's higher.
In Williams Arena?
I can see myself.
Do you guys play their games over there?
But they can see the top of y'all say.
Yeah. That's why I sat right here because I'm facing away from the camera. And I'm also right under the camera. You speak right there and you're looking through the camera and you're like, why aren't they coming over here? But I just like sort of profusely sweating and I'm just like,
Wisconsin at Minnesota, Tuesday the 13th of January.
okay, so they just have to do the they just have to do the like.
Wolves are on the road that week. Downtown Minneapolis, far less interesting.
And you're introducing everybody, like Natalie. So like when you say it, say our middle name.
Alright, Jen, you're going to do the resolution on the GO bond for the... Dan will do assurance of compliance. I get to do the foundation stuff. Shane will do compliance. NBA, yeah, but the Bulls, especially when the Bulls are relevant and good, NBA playoffs I really can get into, but regular season games, it's just... Yep. Now, college different. Like, there's seniors on there, this is their last go-around, they gotta meet every game to make the tournament, they play fewer games, it doesn't matter, it's like... I can't. What is that? Is that the bond for the health and safety thing that we've approved? I think that's the final.
No, it's on a YouTube page.
That's the final. It was like, it was higher, now it's lower, right? What is it now?
But we're the only
Oh, it's still the same then, okay. That's the one that we already approved, it's already happening.
When there's things.
It'd probably be good for you to note that that is not the same thing as this referendum.
And all that was like, I only know this because I watched it, right.
Watchers
So like,
still
I
made
can't
its
go to some of
bond
that stuff because I gotta stay
for
in the
health and
office, so I
safety.
just watch it on the live stream while everybody's in there, like the homecoming court and stuff. When Adrena became, I gotta see her on the TV.
I might have.
It was a computer.
I was perhaps slightly skinnier, but I was late high school. They're also very different. Totally different. This is something we've already approved, and we've been out to market. This facility's made, yeah, right there. Facility's made its bonds. Jen, look at the Ehlers thing in the back, the last thing in your packet.
So this is our school board.
Or one of the last pages. This thing right here. That is the same thing.
Who should we look at? The floor?
No.
What?
At the podium?
Yes?
We're going to look at our papers, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are our main opportunities?
I'm gonna write down Beth.
Should I look up when I'm done? When I'm done reading, I'll step back and then the next person will come on.
Univent's going. Hyde Bar Top.
Just run.
Real close. How's everybody doing?
Your students, you're playing thank you.
Well, it kind of feels like this is a happy hour table.
When is that? This is
5:15. Hey, Elliot, we ready? We good? All right, we'll give you a couple minutes. That's fine.
5:15.
I did. Yeah, we were getting the passports.
I don't want to figure it out.
For some of our kids.
You're not doing that up
They
there.
have birth certificates, so you can't get it.
They're not doing that.
There's 6, 7.
It is such a
Say it in your head.
both of us have to do it.
So,
You go up for
So the
mine
element,
now,
so the
but
element.
it'll be 16, full
This is
16.
like this.
The real joy.
Made solid.
Anyway,
That's 600.
we'll vote for this. So here, stop. You're voting, I don't want to.
And it says
I'll
like Ohio.
definitely.
I was like, you mean, is this what you voted for?
Yeah.
I don't know how I would.
Forget it. Not
She didn't make it happen. It's an actual song.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
I didn't ask him how many had voted, but
My brother's is so much greater.
I thought she was creative.
No, my
there were people voting today. and they're just,
Because they was the actual version of it.
Who do you vote for?
Cookie, whatever the actual
oh,
version.
I got
I hate that.
property tax.
But that would be really funny.
Yeah, Oreo. Yeah.
I better send myself a
My friend sent
reminder.
it to me and was like, what is this song? And I don't know.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's a baller.
Yeah, my 10
And then it's like kind of like, oh,
It's not connected.
This is all I know.
my record. And then it's like alpha.
Yeah.
I bet your son. You do one word and then you're like, you just score. I did one big word and then I'm like,
Pearl.
okay, we're good.
That's all, you know in the paper if you like forget many times.
Yes.
When I sat in the corner,
I didn't know there was
if I wasn't
summer
on the
theater
stage,
was
I
a
was
thing. No, it hurts my ego more when people
that
don't
what I sat right
summer theater was a thing. I somehow still got a pretty good part. Yeah. Sorry, I did this out.
I just sat there and then when it was my turn, I would go up and then go sit back down.
Oh, speaking of that, that reminds me.
You sit there like,
3.5? Wasn't it?
Oh, I'm just like,
Was there a bottom?
I don't know, it's like, this is a letter.
but you, but it was like,
Donnie was in one of my classes.
3.83?
I was in over classes. Donnie was in two of my classes.
2 times. That's crazy.
That's huge.
Yeah.
No,
No, you didn't. And like, I got 100% on my essay. Yeah, I just
You got all the time in the world.
Then we had another essay. Oh wait, no,
I will know we're all gonna go there.
don't try to fight me.
Flag, you know, we gotta do it.
Stand behind the podium. Yes. I'll
I
go
was gonna be like, you should do like,
behind like a president on the second week. Just behind. And then the person who's speaking starts, and then you step back naturally, and then I just like
what if I like trip over her? I like hit my head on the podium and start getting
like nervous about it. It's
I
fine.
start dying. I cried.
It's fine.
Are you a visual person? I need me too.
I dropped it.
But not
From
visual.
the whole like
You're awake before something. I'm very
We're gonna go from here and just have to upload it later and keep
Sounds
working
good.
on
We
it.
good? All right.
Yep.
All right, we 5:19. I will call this meeting of the Fairmont Area School Board to order. We have all in attendance except Nicole, who's out of state visiting family. We have quorum, so we will now move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Order yourself, get out of those chairs. Straight ahead is some flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All get back into our chairs. All right, we have minutes from the September 23rd, 2025 school board meeting that we need to approve. Can I get a motion? And there's a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we need to take a vote. All in favor of the motion? Aye. Anyone opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. We have an agenda for this October 14th, 2025 school board meeting. It's a green in front of you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? All right, motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, agenda is approved. We'll go into celebrations. We have a Red Ribbon Week. The MCSAP Coalition, Youth Coalition is here. And I'll have you go up to the podium. Mr. Trada will help get you set up there.
Good evening. Good evening, members of the school board. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Natalie Flaherty, and I'm joined by Isaac, Maddox, Raina, Adriana, and Donovan. We're all members of Fairmont Empower, a student-led organization that promotes healthy, substance-free lifestyles and mental health being among students in our school and community. Empower has met 3 times so far this year, and currently has about 40 active members. Around 15 to 20 students attend each meeting, depending on their schedules and other school commitments. Even though we're involved in many different activities, we all share the same goal: to make Fairmont a stronger, healthier place for the youth.
At our meetings, we learn about things like mental health, handling stress, making good decisions, and avoiding substance use. We also talk about something called risk and protective factors. These things that can affect our choices. Risk factors are challenges like peer pressure or stress that can make it harder to make healthy choices. Protective factors are the positives like supportive friends, caring adults, and being involved in activities that can help us stay right on track. Empower's goal is to build more of these protective factors in our school and community.
One of our main opportunities to do that is Red Ribbon Week, the largest and longest running drug prevention campaign in the nation. It started in 1985 to honor a man named Kiki, a DEA agent who lost his life fighting drug trafficking. Red Ribbon Week is a reminder of the importance of prevention and living a drug-free, healthy lifestyle. This year we will be decorating the wall outside the Empower office with information and messages about positive choices, mental well-being, and what Red Ribbon Week represents.
We're also helping with a Halloween costume contest during the community trunk or treat at Citizens Park. It's a fun and safe event for families with prizes like family movie night and pizza night packs. Both these activities connect to what we've learned about risk and protective factors. Our awareness wall helps students learn and stay connected at school. The costume contest gives families a safe, substance-free way to have fun together, both of which keep you healthy and supported.
Another part of our Red Ribbon Week is our peer-to-peer presentations at the Fairmont Elementary. 20 different Empower students will visit 4th, 5th, and 6th grade Fit and Well classes throughout the week to teach lessons on digital well-being, with each grade focusing on a different area. 4th grade, kindness and empathy online and offline. 5th grade, bullying and peer pressure online, offline. 6th grade, stress and mental health online, offline. These lessons help students learn to be kind, include others, and bounce back when things get hard. They give them tools to make safe, healthy choices both online and offline.
Red Ribbon Week gives us the chance to teach others, spread awareness, and connect with students, families, and our community. We're really proud to be a part of Empower and help make a positive difference here at Fairmont Schools. Thank you for your time and for supporting our group.
Yes.
online things. Even a lot of us adults are struggling with that right now. So we appreciate you bringing some attention to that subject for the younger students. That's very well done.
Superintendent's report. Andy.
Thanks, Mike. As we do at each meeting, we start with an enrollment report. As you can see, we are down a few students again from our last school board meeting. It is a number that was about what expected, as our demographic information is shown in anticipation of a slight decline in student enrollment over this year and the next 2 school years, but a 10-year growth projection of approximately 4.5%. So with that, I did a little research just to see, in terms of students that have unenrolled from Fairmont Area Schools since August 1st, where the majority of them are transitioning to, and just over 70% of those students moved outside of the district to another school district that is not adjacent to our district boundaries. The biggest significant in transition from August 1st till today has been in online enrollment through online education options. But overall, still relatively stable enrollment within our range of projections. Buildings and grounds, no new updates from when Director Tyler Garrison provided an update at the last meeting. We'll give more information in November on where we're coming on projects. Some referendum updates. We continue our efforts for communication with residents. Following tonight's board meeting, we'll transition to our open house here at the junior-senior high school. Also a reminder that early and absentee voting is currently going on at the Martin County Auditor Treasurer's Office at the Martin County Courthouse. And then on November 4th, residents of the district can vote at the Knights of Columbus Hall from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll give more details at the presentation in the open house about the components of the bond referendum, including some project highlights as well. But if anyone continues to have questions, feel free to reach out to the district office or visit the referendum website at fairmontbond.com. Tonight in a little bit, I won't go into too many details about our bond issuance for your board-approved health and safety projects. Jessica and I did take part in a couple of calls with the ratings company as well as our bond counsel from Ehlers, and are pleased to report that we had positive bond ratings as a school district. We continue to work on contract renewals and through negotiations. Last week, the group of superintendents from the Southern Plains Education Cooperative also gathered in a strategic planning exercise. We were together for about 2.5 hours and focused on prioritizing some implementation planning for others to work through. Last week, I also attended our Superintendent Association quarterly meeting. There were over 20 superintendents from throughout the region there. A lot of the discussion was centered on legislative platforms for the upcoming session, state funding, federal government, shutdown implications, and the implementation of new labor laws coming up in January 1 with the Paid Family Medical Leave Act. Lastly, since our last board meeting, we hosted the Martin County Leadership Group here at Fairmont Area Schools for their Education Day. As part of that programming, we gave tours of our CTE spaces. Representatives from the Southern Plains Education Co-op presented. Representatives from our local parochial schools and homeschools presented. Then we finished the afternoon about learning about our College in the Schools programming. Principal Brusky did a great job of leading the tour and sharing that detailed information. A couple additional things, just anecdotal comments. One, our Unified Cardinals activities program was notified recently that they achieved the honor of a National Banner School for their youth leadership, inclusive sports involvement in all school activities. So that is a great honor for that group. Additionally, we happen to have at our most recent activity, at our last culminating activity of homecoming week at our football game, a gentleman from the Los Angeles area happened to be in attendance where he professionally works at the LA Coliseum. on their grounds crew. He happened to do an impromptu assessment of our facilities prior to that, and gave a huge vote of confidence to our buildings and grounds crew in the great work that they do, keeping our facilities looking sharp. I think one of his comments was even there's never going to be a need for our district to go to field turf on our football field because of the great care that it's given, along with all of our buildings and grounds. So a vote of confidence to the great work that our custodial maintenance crew does to keep our schools looking the way they do and stay ahead of planning for things that we need. So with that concludes my report. Our next board meeting will be back at the elementary school budroom on October 28th.
Any questions for the superintendent? All right, moving on to financial business. Jessica, do you want to go over the financial reports and bills, please?
Yeah, so we have wire transfers from September 18th to October 8th. In your packet, there is a packet for tonight, October 14th, bills, and as well as September 19th, 2025 checks. Wires, there's nothing out of the ordinary on that sheet. All the bills are just normal payable.
All right, we need a motion to approve the wire transfers and the bills. Can someone make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the wire transfers for 9/18/25 and 10/8/2025 and October 14th, 2025 bills and the September 19th, 25 payment checks.
We have a first, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It is approved. We have no old business, and we have some new business. And Beth from Ehlers is going to talk about bonds. Exciting topic.
It's really exciting when it's funding projects. For sure. Well, thank you for having me here tonight. So we have a sale day report in front of you, as well as the resolution authorizing the actual sale of the bond. So I'm gonna jump to the sale day attachments report. So it says page 1 there on the bottom, and it's the sources and uses. It kind of looks like this chart for you. So we had really, really good results today. We like to see at least 3 bidders on all of our bonds, and we actually had 13 bid this morning, which is a really, really great turnout. The low bid was 3.88%, and we had figured in pre-sale in September when we were estimating to be at 4.65%. So definitely we're almost 80 basis points then below our pre-sale, which is really, really great to see. We also had the underwriter submit a bid that had a premium on it. So a premium is an additional amount that the underwriter is going to pay in order to get your bonds. So because of that, our par amount is $17.8 million. So you're going to pay back principal and interest on that $17.8 million, but the underwriter is going to give you $18.2 million in proceeds to begin with. So you're really getting more money back, and then not paying as much. And so if you look at the next page, that first bid tabulation, you'll see all the coupon rates are listed there. And so bonds work a little bit differently than like a home mortgage or a car loan where you have one single interest payment the whole time. Each maturity has a different coupon rate. So you'll see you're paying coupon rates of 5 to 4%, but because they gave you that premium to start with, it's actually only a 3.83% interest rate. So that's how that works out. Works really, really well. This bond is the long-term facilities maintenance portion of the projects we've been talking about. So there is authority for the school board to do certain projects outside of voter approval, and those are things for health and safety that the state considers dire needs for the well-being of your students. So a vast majority of this project is going to finance indoor air quality projects, so those HVAC kind of items. Small amount is going to go towards roofing projects. That's kind of a new authority that MDE has now allowed boards to use, which is really exciting because roofs are expensive to upkeep, and the annual revenues that they're giving you to designate towards keeping those up is not keeping pace. So this is really exciting and really beneficial for your students to not have roofs falling on their heads or buckets in hallways. I worked in schools for about 10 years, and I definitely saw buckets in hallways, and I know it's not the best learning environment for kiddos. So really good that the board has the authority and can use these funds in that way. I'm going to jump past our debt service payment, so you'll see there's 17-year repayment schedules on the IAQ portion, and the roofing that's smaller has a 5-year repayment schedule. And I'm going to have you jump to page 8. This is a chart you've probably seen before. This shows your tax rates for the district. So you'll see we have your existing debt there, and then the new bond. So we make smaller payments on the new bonds until we hit 2039, when that old existing debt falls off, and then we pay more on these. So that's kind of a nice benefit for your taxpayers, that we're not putting all of this on top of what's already existing. We're wrapping around what you have to make this work and not have such a tax impact for your taxpayers. And then the last part of this report is the credit rating from Moody's. So Andy mentioned it a little earlier. We have to do some meetings, and the district gets a credit rating. So basically it says how risky it is for investors to hold these bonds. So the district received a AA3 rating, which is really, really great for school districts. A AAA is the highest you can get. So just 3 notches down from that. So really, really good. Really shows that you have good management and stewardship of your finances. Other thing to highlight in this, other than how awesome Andy and Jessica did during all those meetings and how good of representatives they were, is that it's really your fund balance that drives this rating. You guys have a really strong fund balance, good management. If that were to drop, the district could be facing a downgrade, it's called, where the rating agencies will come in, take a look at your finances again, and then re-rate you and possibly give you a downgrade if things are not looking as healthy. So having a healthy fund balance is really important for your credit rating. The higher the credit rating, the lower interest rates you get. So super important to keep that healthy fund balance.
Is this bond that we just issued got contingencies on fund balance total for our rating?
Can you say that a little louder? I can't hear you.
Does the bond that we just sold have any contingencies on our fund balance total or our credit rating or anything like that during the term of the bond? Can be reissued and changed?
There is a possibility. There's a refunding portion that's written in where you can call the bonds and refund them. There isn't any contingency to keep your fund balance at a certain rate, but you are at risk of a downgrade if you drop below, I think it's like 17%. They'll start to look at it again.
It will not affect this one.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. It would affect your future bond offerings. Yep. Correct. Any other questions on the report? I know that's a lot of information pretty darn quickly.
A lot of good information.
Good information quick. Good. So this part is informational, and then the resolution is the part that you'll need to act on and approve.
I will make a motion to approve the resolution relating to the $17.815 million general obligation facilities maintenance bond series, authorizing issuance, awarding sales and charging performance details, and providing for the payment thereof, what was just explained.
I'll second it.
Just for clarification, you said 17,815,000?
After I said it, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's about $17,815,000 for the resolution.
All right, we have a first and a second on resolution. It's a roll call, so Jen?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Mark?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Resolution is adopted. All right, we have to do our annual assurance of compliance reports for the 25-26 school year. Dan?
Each year, our school board must take action to ensure that we are in compliance with all of the items that are listed on the assurance of compliance report, which is available in Appendix B. Many of these items in this are also covered by our policy manual. And annually in July, the board assigns individuals to assume the responsibilities of the Human Rights Officer, 504 Coordinator, and all the other positions listed. And the superintendent has reviewed the list of items and confirms that our district is compliant in all areas. So I make a motion to approve the assurance of compliance report.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion is adopted. All right, next on our agenda is the St. Paul Foundation. Well, we talked about this at the last board meeting. A long time ago, a bunch of some money was transferred from the school district to the St. Paul Foundation to be held for essentially donations that were given to the school district, but in the name of Partners in Education. There's a lot of things we're working with the school attorney to kind of clean up the paperwork, and our auditors had flagged this as something that needed to be addressed. And so what we have here on our agenda is I'm going to make a motion that we communicate to the St. Paul Minneapolis Foundation a request for returns of funds and closure of the account they have in our name. That's all. I'll make that motion. If we have a second, then we can discuss it. All right, there's a first and a second. So on the discussion part of that motion, this is again kind of keeping with trying to be consistent and following all the rules and protocol and regulations, and they're complicated, but by having this official motion of the board to request those funds, it sets in process a returning of those funds, and then at the same time, we're working with Partners in Education about them needing to set up a 501c3. They've been in communication with the superintendents, and there's just a lot of things that need to get cleaned up, but this is kind of the first start to kind of kickstart that process. We all have the same goal. We want this to work, I think, publicly, and with how the money's going to our students in our district should all be the same, but like the housekeeping, the backroom side stuff needs to be changed. And so I want to be clear that this is not changing the goal or changing what we want this to do. It's going back and cleaning up some stuff. Is that kind of, Andy, a fair way to put it?
Yeah, our goal is to continue to provide the same service and work with Partners in Education. It's been a very positive working relationship, and we intend to continue to have that partnership well into the future.
So with that, go ahead, Dan.
This has all been, I mean, this was done well before I was on the board even, so, I mean, this is going back a couple of decades at least, so I'm glad that Jessica and Andy have kind of gone through all this with a fine-tooth comb to find these next couple of things here and make sure that we have everything in the right place, which can really be difficult with all the different types of funding sources that we have to deal with. So
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of the effort to communicate this to all parties so that, you know, that Partners in Education continue to do their good work. We just make sure that we are taking care of the funds as we've been directed to.
I think at the end, once the dust settles, probably streamline things and make it easier and better, but that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it for the reasons stated. So if there's any more discussion or questions, otherwise, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. The motion carries. All right. Moving on to another item. We have, so we have a need to transfer $25,578.53 from Fund 15, which is an Enrichment Opportunities Trust Fund. We want to transfer that to the Hunt Fund. I'll make that motion that we transfer that money, and then we can have a discussion if it's seconded.
I'll second.
All right. So discussion, Jessica, can you explain like what Fund 15, what that means?
Yeah, so on our financial statement, so I have been again searching through all of this historical documents that I can find. So Fund 15 looks like, from what I can see, was maybe set up from back in
And do we believe that this will still allow us to the extent there is a restriction on the funds, we can still track it within that fund? It's just all the donated funds that are going to enrichment of various different designations, all being in the same fund is the goal. Is that okay?
So with the hunt, with what we currently have with our hunt fund is we can directly track the principal amount and then a separate dollar amount. So we show here's what we started off with, here's a separate dollar amount where it came from. So that way it's very just that stone of we can't touch this dollar.
No. Perfect. All right. Any other questions on the motion before us? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I think we have some employment personnel matters. Shayna?
Principals Rusty, Ms. Rusty, and Ms. Schultz have recommended that Veronica
Valderas.
be hired as a high school paraprofessional on a special assignment to step 10, effective October 6, 2025. The list of recommended coaches and advisors for the 25 and 26 fine arts activities are enclosed in Appendix E. Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
All right, first and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
Just want to say what an awesome roster of people that we have helping out with the fine arts activities from not only the school year, but also across the community to help make all these offerings very worthwhile. And a lot of them are unique to Fairmont. So thank you to all of those folks who help out.
I agree, Dan. We have a lot of faculty on here, but there's also a lot of non-faculty on here as well. These are some subject matter expertise. You know, I know, for example, the mock trial, they're having their parents' meeting here tonight in our media center. That's a local attorney that's doing that. I just really thank citizens for stepping up, and I obviously continue to thank our faculty for doing these extra duty roles as well. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion before us, say aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I think we have a couple, excuse me, board committee reports. Andy.
Yeah, last week, Thursday, the CER Advisory Council met. I got to take part in that. The bulk of the discussion was centered around our proposed bond referendum that we'll be transitioning to here shortly. Provided the presentation to the group that will be reiterated in the Performing Arts Center here when we conclude our meeting. Some very, very good questions, some very specific questions. Grateful of the prep work that's been provided through our bond council as well as our partners at ICS to make sure we have the information that we need and or to be able to direct people to the answers to the questions that they have. So that was, in essence, the totality of that meeting. And the group meets monthly, as well as in addition to that, have monthly individual meetings with our CER director, Stephanie Bouchon. And are there any other board committee reports? Before you entertain a motion to adjourn, I just also, before we conclude, want to recognize it is our student school board member Emma's birthday today, so happy birthday, Emma. And again, thank you to all three of you. I know Wendy's not able to join us tonight for your service on the school board, and a great article and acknowledgement of that in the paper. You did very well through that process to highlight the goals of your position. So thank you for what you do.
All right, it's 5:50. We've got 10 minutes before the referendum meeting starts. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Or second it.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
We are adjourned.